Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the brothers that's teaching this truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect, the 1/3, and the sincere listeners. All right. Today's lesson is going to be titled, "We gotta be vigilant, or gird yourselves up in these last days." Okay, that's today's topic. And pretty much, man, we're in the last days. We know that. But if you don't know that, there's a reminder. All right, the famine of the word is coming. The famine of the word is upon us. Especially here in Canada. Bill C9 will be in law tomorrow. You can be prosecuted for doing, saying certain things, and you're not protected. That's back in the scriptures. You're no longer protected by those things anymore. Okay, just because it's in the scriptures, just because it's in a religious text that Esau likes to call it, likes to frame it, you are no longer protected by those words. Right? So we're living in a time where, I just gotta get it. We're living in these times because this is a very draconian law. Revelations 13:11. Okay, the beast from the earth, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. The 2 horns is going into that 2-party system. Okay, the Republican and the Democrats, the plebeians and patricians. We're going back to Rome. Okay, and America is Rome all over again. America is that whore that sitteth upon the beast. All right, and that beast is spearheaded. America is the whore that sitteth upon the beast, and that beast is the what do you call them? The EU. Okay, EU and NATO. All right, and they're spearheaded by the Edomites. Okay, so do with that information as you will. We told you who the Edomites are, so whatever. But this devil, he's implementing his draconian laws. He's coming to you as a lamb, humble, like a sly, cunning devil. But really, these are war was in his mouth. This is war. This is waging war against the saints. Okay, and we're in a spiritual war, brothers. We're in a spiritual battle. We're in a spiritual war. We need to be dialed in. We need to be tapped in. We need to know what's going on. We can't be not knowing the times that we're in, not knowing. What I mean by that, like, knowing the phases of the moon. It starts with there, really and truly. That's one thing. You got to know what's going on in Israel. That's another thing too. You need to actually watch brothers' videos to be up to date, especially the apostles. Okay, but you should be knowing what's going on in Israel. You shouldn't just. I'm not saying you limited to certain things. Don't be limited to just your geographical location, so to speak, in the sense of not tuning into other channels, other brothers. Tune into other brothers, man, from across the globe. This is a global thing, man. All right, GMS is a global news network, so we need to know what's going on all throughout the world. We can do a topic on anything, and we need to know what's going on at all times. All right, but we're in a spiritual war, and that's why we need to have the armor of God, of Yahweh. All right, Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And this devil's putting pressure on us, man. spiritually, carnally, whatever. He's doing it. So especially the men of the Lord. Okay? But we still got to fight. We still got to read the scriptures of our forefathers and implement that strength, that spiritual fortitude that that they had. And prayer, obviously, we have to pray, man. Pray for the brotherhood, pray for the brethren, pray for the elect, pray for yourself, pray for your household. The times to come are evil, man. You see what's going on outside? You see, that was an omen. The color of the sky yesterday, that was an omen of things to come, man. And you people haven't seen nothing yet. Even though that was something, that was a sign in itself. The Lord said He shows signs in the heavens, man. That was a sign in the heavens. The whole sky was yellow, bro. What the fuck? Okay, that's not a joke. I was talking to my dad. He said all his 50 plus years of living in Canada, he never seen nothing like that in his life. Okay, so that's to tell you that Esau's doing something, man. This is some wicked, demonic, vibrational shit that's going on, and we gotta know. We can't be drunk right now. We can't be drunk, man. We can't be staggering. We cannot be staggering in these times. We cannot not know what's going on. We can't not know the state of our flock. We gotta know. We gotta know everything that's going on right now, man. It's not a joke. It's serious, man. This is a deadly serious thing. This truth is deadly serious. This walk is deadly serious, man. Okay? People are gonna want our head. People are gonna want our neck, man. When we become public enemy number one. So guess what? We're gonna need the Lord's covering, man. But the only way to receive that is if we're doing what's pleasing unto Him. Obviously, if we're of the elect, right? That's the first and foremost. Make sure your calling of election is sure. Be diligent. Okay? Love the brother. Be a brother. Brotherhood. That's part of the walk. Right? Being there. Counseling. What's that word? Uplifting brothers. You know what I mean? Them spiritual conversations. Charity. That's charity, man. Having a spiritual conversation with a brother, that's charity, man. We're in these times, man. We gotta have these talks. We gotta break bread. We gotta link up amongst one another because we're the only ones that know what we're going through. These people don't know what the fuck we're going through. Your woman don't know what the fuck you're going through. Fuck your woman. Okay? She don't know what the fuck you're going through. Okay? You gotta link up with the brothers, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is real, man. This is life and death, man. We're all we got. We're all we got, brothers. Alright? This is a calling to brothers. This is we're all we got, bro. At the end of the day. We ain't got nobody else. We don't got nobody here. Especially if they're in the world, we don't got we don't got them. They don't got us. These people want us dead. Okay? Put on the whole armor of Yahweh that you may be able to withstand the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand. Right. So make sure, making your calling of election sure. Make sure you've done all that you could, man, to stand boldly for this work, for this walk, so the Lord can protect you in these last days. Right? Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, man. Alright, the shameful spewings, the lies. Esau's gonna lie on us, man. That's what the fiery darts is talking about. Him wanting to come after you. Alright? We're gonna need that shield, man. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit. And I know this is a spiritual breakdown, but imagine the Lord actually in the kingdom. The Lord gives every one of us our own armor of all of this. Like, this actually is Yo, this is crazy, bro. I just thought about this. Barakatah Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Barakatah Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I just thought about this in the spirit. So spirit, I'm just thinking in the spirit. Imagine, cause we obviously we think about these things that okay, the Lord's gonna give us this and this and this, but imagine the Lord literally gives you the Ephesians 6 armor of God, armor of Yahweh, armor. Like it's made out of whatever element catered to you, man. You could have even more than one. You get what I'm trying to say? You're not limited. Who the Lord will give you these things, but what if there actually is an Ephesians 6 armor? I'm not trying to go off. I'm not going off on a break. I'm just talking about in the kingdom. The Lord say, "Hey, I'll give you this is your armor." Just cause, in Batman, where Batman has all, and he goes into his cave. Obviously, we aren't gonna be in a cave or nothing like that, but he goes into, Batman's Esau. But anyways, fuck it. We go into our cave, or we go into Slakia. He goes into his cave, and he has all his armor suits in the cave, like just lined up, and you just pick and choose what outfit, So that could be us. Hey, the Lord might literally give you a spiritual armor, exoskeleton, a spiritual exoskeleton suit before he returns. Like, when all hell breaks, who knows? I'm not saying, anything's possible with the Lord. Like a spiritual body, we're gonna get spiritual power even before the Lord returns. As he's approaching, we're gonna get spiritual power, but then we're gonna get new bodies as well, because the Lord's saying we have to lift up a standard against this devil. That's the only way we're gonna be able to survive. The Lord's gonna have to elevate our spirit. Okay, but that was a little tangent, but Lord, will you got edified off of that? You know what I'm saying? That's rude, man. That's the way you gotta think. That's the way you gotta think in this truth, man. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints, all the brothers that are doing this thing in truth and sincerity. And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel. And that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we should be doing. And that's the reason why the famine of the word is also coming, because it's prophecy, and we're making known the mystery of the gospel, the truth of the Bible. And people don't like that, but that's okay, because this is what we're set up to do. Okay? For which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. And that's why, myself, I would like to consider myself an introvert, but on the highways and byways, I'm the most extroverted person you ever meet. And I know myself. I'm chilling. Like I ain't trying to be seen like that. I'm not in it for clout. You know what I'm saying? But I know how to abound myself, so to speak, especially when it comes to the Lord. Just because I'm an introvert doesn't mean I don't have extroverted ways. Okay, that's something you pick up, those social cues, certain things. I'm saying, but it's the spirit of the Lord that makes supplication for you to be able to do that. You may have stage fright or something, but the Lord might elevate you to where you don't have stage fright. And now, not only are you speaking at a camp, but if you have to lead a presentation at your job, you have no problem doing it, because this is what you do. This is part of you now, right? But that's the Lord, But hey, maybe you're not the type to lead a presentation at your job, but when it comes to doing the work of the Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you could definitely teach that class. You could definitely break down the scriptures and teach in boldness. You see what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of it all, anyways. Because really, fuck a job. It's the only job. Obviously we gotta do daily bread, but I'm saying in the sense of use your talents for the Lord. Giving up your talents for Esau to exploit you. Fuck Esau, man. And that's why we need the new rulership anyway. Let's see. This is Romans 12 and 11. I'll start at 10. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. Not slothful in business. And this is the point right here. Fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. All right, serving the Lord Yahweh Shai. All right. So we got to be fervent. We got to be instant, in season and out of season, and we got to be doing this work. The business is what? Doing the work of the Lord. It's not just a business. Oh, I open up an LLC. Okay, and that's what it means. Not slothful in business. No, it's talking about the Lord's business, where you don't have to incorporate nothing with no Edomite. Okay, this is in the spirit. It's something that you cannot touch, see, hear, or feel, but you in the spirit you can. You know what I'm saying? In the spirit you can feel it. In the spirit you can hear it. In the spirit you can see it. But that takes a spiritual man to be able to have all those spiritual senses, right? Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. I want to get into NLT, or is this NLT? I believe so. Yes. So Romans 12 and 10, love each with. I'll just really get to the point of verse 11. Never be lazy, but work hard. All right, doing what? It's, but the work is talking about the work of the Lord. It's not just work, the work of the Lord. So never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord, Yahweh Shai, enthusiastically. Right? You gotta be enthusiastic about this, man. Even when the spirit's not on you, you gotta still push through that, because the spirit can jump on you while you're doing the video. The spirit might be on you to do a video, but you just start it up anyways, because your mind is so filled with knowledge. You can really talk about anything and it'll be edifying. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about anything and relate it to the scriptures, right? Rejoice in our confident hope. Be patient in trouble, and keep on praying. All right. Isaiah 46 and 8. Remember this and show yourselves men. Okay? Bring it again to mind. All right, we got to show ourselves men unto the Heavenly Father. Okay? And the laws tell us what we need to be doing as a man. Okay? So, O ye transgressors, remember the former things of old, for I am Yahweh, and there is none else, right? The Ancient of Days. He's from before us. Okay? So he requires you to know the past as well. I am Yahweh, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done. From the ancient world, he already declared things that haven't even been done. You understand? And he's telling you to look to the past and to the future. He's telling you to look to both. You got to search out both. You got to search out the past. You can do it carnally, but in the spirit. But then to search out the future, you got to do it. You can only do it spiritually. You can't search out the future carnally. All right. See, Esau will dig up relics and tombs and stuff all over there. You'll study the Bible, study the scriptures, and he will actually find that these locations and these people, historic biblical figures, actually existed. Right? He's done a diligent search, but we don't need that to believe, even though we use it as confirmation, so to speak. And we can provide all the facts to you people all you want till you're blue in the face, or till we're blue in the face, either or. But if you're not the elect, you're not gonna get it. So we don't waste our time fishing for catfish, man. All right, we're fishing for righteous, righteousness. Okay, sea bass. Okay, snapper. Whatever. But parabolically, right? We're fishing for the elect. We're fishers of men. Okay, at the end of the day, we're fishers of men. Okay. So declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Okay. And that's what the Lord will do. The Lord said he's going to do all his pleasure. He's going to do it. So you don't hold him back for that. Okay. And at the end of the day, the Lord's business comes first as well. You know what I mean? I don't know what anybody thought or anything, but the Lord's business comes first. At the end of the day, all right. Everything else works around the Lord's business. Okay. We know we gotta work. We know we need money our day to day. We know we need these things, right? But that's why the scriptures say that this is not his burden is light, so to speak. You know, we sacrificed our lives, for this truth. Like we put a lot of, we're not even thinking about the things we put on hold, but I'm just saying we put a lot of stuff on hold, right? To deny ourselves from this world because we found out this world was wicked. So why not just give our all to the Lord? Because we know the Lord is true. The Lord is sure. He's not going to forsake us. We're not going to get a bad deal with Yahweh Shem Shai if we do right by him. Okay? Luke 12:42. The Lord said, who then is that faithful and wise steward, whom his Lord shall make ruler over his household, to give them their portion of meat in due season, right? Talking about the kingdom, man. Giving your portion in the kingdom, your righteous rule, as an elect 144,000 member. Okay? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Okay, so we want to be, when the Lord sees his elect, we want to be caught in his good graces by him knowing that we did the work, that we were diligent. We didn't make excuses, but we were also humble and meek, and we did all we could to be a good brother. All of these things, it's all around it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're playing a video game. It's like, whatever. You may play a role player game, RPG, right? Or even if you play 2K and you had to customize your stats, or your passing ability, your strength ability, your speed, your agility, right? Well, there's spiritual things that the Lord is giving you, because not every brother is the same, right? But it balances it out in the spirit. Okay? Right? We all have our different offices and stuff like that. So certain things we shine, we shine because that's the strength that the Lord gave us, right? And everybody should be trying to strive in the strength that the Lord gave you. Don't be trying to follow. Don't be trying to be like another brother. You can take attributes and learn from other men, but also be you as well. There's nothing wrong with taking attributes from righteous men. Okay? But be yourself. Right? You have your own spirit as well. Be yourself in truth and sincerity. All right? You may, like myself, I like listening to Apostle Rakah. Does that mean I'm gonna start talking like him? And I leave that for him. I'm not, but I love his energy. I feed off of that. But I feed, that energy in righteousness. I'm not a parasite, but I'm saying like I like his energy. So when I'm teaching, especially on the highways and byways, I gotta make sure I have energy. I gotta make sure I have a certain amount of energy. But I'm not, I'm not gonna talk exactly like him or whatever. And because we got, That's just an example, right? Rev 16, 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And we don't want to be found ashamed in these last days, man. We ain't come this far to not make it, you know? We want to be in Yahweh Shem Yahshua's good graces now more than ever. We want to be good, so to speak. Why calls me thou good? But we want to be good in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? Simple and plain, you know. So Matthew 24, I'll start at 11. I'll start at 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. All right, and yeah, we gotta endure all the way to the end, brothers. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We gotta endure all the way to the end. I also gotta get the actual gird up thy loins. Let me get that real quick, because that is the topic of the video. Gird up thy loins in these last days. So, Job 40:7. Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. That's right, man. Let me see what the NLT is saying. Brace yourself. Job 40:7. Brace yourself like a man, because I have some questions for you, and you must answer them. All right, and you know, when the Lord comes, man, we got to be able to give an account, and we got to stand on that account. And you know, we obviously want our judgment to be good. You know, we want the Lord to look past our transgressions, honestly, but we don't want to be ashamed in these last days to come. Right? We want the Lord to be. We want to be in the good graces of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We want the Spirit making intercession. We want Yahushai, you know, pretty much litigating on our behalf to Yahweh, because we're men in the flesh, right? But we want to know, we don't want to be proud. We don't want to be, we just want we want salvation, man, and we want election. We want salvation, and also we want election. Okay, we want to be elected. Okay, and who's going to elect us? It's Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And the beautiful thing about it is we don't know who's of the elect, and that's beautiful. Because if you knew, then you would be proud, and that's why you got to remain humble. Because the Lord only wants a humble and contrite heart. That's it. He's not dealing with nothing else. A proud look or none of that. Lord ain't dealing with none of that. Okay. This is First Ezra 8. Hold on. Slovakia. Whoa. Yeah. This is Joshua 1 and 9. Was it 19? Yeah, 6. All right. This is I can start at 6, but 9 as well. Joshua 1 and actually I'll start at 5. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of my life. As I was with Moses, so I'll be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide an inheritance, the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law. You know, in this time, spiritually, to the best we can, which Moses, my servant, because we're not going to be saved by the law alone, okay? Which Moses, my servant, but the elect will keep the law to their best of ability. That's the characteristic of the elect. IUIC don't know nothing about that. They think keeping the laws 100% is what's going to get them salvation, but they're hypocrites, because they're sinning, they're putting burdens on men, and you know, and they're doing the same wickedness that they're calling men out for. So to hell with IUIC, man. Turn not from it to be the right hand or the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. The book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then shalt thou make thy way prosperous, and thou shalt have good success. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God, Yahweh, is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. Yeah, man. So, Lord, will you're edified. Let's say shalom until the next one. All right. Shalom.